Okay guys, I've returned. And so as you see, I set up a little backdrop with that bandana I talked about earlier. So now you have something to look at, and I'm also just going to adjust this pack so I can reach into it. And this is, I believe, the last item in the secondary, how do I say it, secondary pocket on the outer side. And that is, what that is this MRE heater and snacks, and I also have batteries in there, and I also put my watch on, just because I just saw that laying around, so I put it on. And basically what I have in here is just basically what it says, MRE heaters and trail snacks that come with it. I've got a tube of, how do I say it, I've got a tube of, what is it, not lip balm. I'm not going to go through the contents, got a coffee mix, see the MRE heater there. Got some basic snacks, some Twizzlers, batteries, of course, in a separate bag. Yeah, and just some pretty basic stuff. The little condiment packets that come with the MRE itself. So that's pretty nice. And I do believe that is the last item in that outer, not in the outer, sorry, in the secondary pack. Now we go to the main compartment here. And on the top, what we have is the poncho. Now, I'm trying to find a comfortable way to sit here. But, this is just a basic rain poncho. I have it tied together in a pretty creative knot with some 550 cord. So it's pretty small. And what I think I'm going to do is just roll it back up and throw it on the outside of the pack in a, like, kind of a sleeping roll formation. So, if you need it in an instant, instead of opening your pack, it's just right there. Go ahead and just throw it out and set up your shelter. So I'm probably going to do that later. Set that out on the floor. And the main pack contains most of the vital stuff. Now the way that I pack it, I'll show you a repacking video, but you need to remember to place the stuff that you're going to need the most on the top. So, like the poncho for example, if you're in a kind of rainy climate. Now in my area, Southern California, around this time it does start to rain a little bit, so probably going to change the order of things around. That was the first item though, and it should always be, unless you have like a rifle or something of that nature. Now, and the next item that we have here is this old magazine pouch, M16 mag pouch, and it just has some stuff in there, another pencil. We also have in here what appears to be a deck of cards, and I do believe that the Afghan National Army uses these. When we give them Kevlar, Marines, they give them Kevlar, or lend out some old Kevlar. It's still the tricolored wooden camouflage, but Kevlar nonetheless. And I have seen this on some of their vests. No, you got a deck of cards here, entertainment. Also, bartering, if the need ever arises to barter, then you can barter these as well. A D battery for something, I'll show you that. I stripped down the outer material so it's not cumbersome. Let's see. We've got this is a infrared signaling device or something of that nature, and I've got multiple of these, so they're pretty good little tools. I haven't had the luxury of trying them out. So yeah, here's the other two, and then that's it. So that concludes this. And the next item, I'm just gonna leave this up here, is a first aid kit, which of course I won't go into detail of really, but just the basic first aid kit, modified of course to what I need. Now, I don't have allergy medicine and stuff of the like in here because, frankly, I just couldn't find any to spare at the time. But what I have in here is a green bandana. Very nice. Again, used for whatever. Can be anything, but this one I have dedicated to the medical kit. We have the box itself containing all the goodies. There you go. A nice roundabout of the bottom. That's average weight, not too heavy. It's actually probably less than a pound, I'd say. There you go. Insert first aid kit case. Just store your basic medical necessities in here, which I will add some more later. And the contents of the first aid kit have fallen upon the floor, so I will display them. He's got a little tiny thing of super glue. Again, multiple uses, but actually more than multiple. This thing has infinite uses. You gotta make sure it doesn't leak though in your kit. That would really stink. Got some super glue. Another tube of lip balm here. You can never have too much in a survival situation. We got some various toothpicks that I've collected over the years. Months rather. And then we have this little guy, which it did have a red LED light, as you can see right there, but unfortunately it's burnt out. Just a little knife, little lanyard on it. Probably put that somewhere else. And I keep it pretty sharp. I don't use it much. Use it for cutting bandages, and that not much else. It's got some serrations on it, so it's probably not a very useful tool for medical uses, but I have it anyways. Always good to have a spare blade, and it's got a nice folding lock system, I should say. Again, with this little keychain lanyard, so I could attach it to something else, which I might do. And then let's go over the contents of the first aid kit. Opening it up here, we have, I'll stand you guys up to this, we have something that just fell out, a bandage, got some compressed gauze in there. I do have another tube of chapstick in there, some pill bottles, iodine tablets, compressed gauze, field dressing, stuff of the like, you know, basic first aid stuff. Go ahead and set the camera back down. I think I just dropped a spare battery for the camera. Next we have a pretty interesting item, fire starting kit, not canned peanuts. I tried to scrape this off for some reason, so I could just get it down to the aluminum for water boiling, if I had to, but if the need arises, I'm sure I won't mind if this is on here or not. We have a pretty poor labeling on the top here, fire starting kit, as it says, and it's probably, yeah, I don't even know. Sorry about this guy. Just stuttering here. And here we have a book of matches. On the back it says, these matches are designed especially for damp climates, but they will not light when wet or after long exposure several weeks to very damp air. So we just got some matches in there. Looks like quite a few. And there we go. There's the striking surface there. Next, we've got our tinder in a separate bag. On the inside, I have a bag filled with dryer lint, and that's in a separate bag. And then we have some napkins in there. Let's see what else I got in there. I have some tickets, you know, just basic tinder. A piece of cardboard. I have a lot of random stuff in here, but it's tinder, mind you. A note, well, a little piece of paper rather, with some scribbles on it. This is all just miscellaneous stuff. I don't know why I have so much of it, but it's tender nonetheless, and very useful in a survival situation. Another folded up piece of paper. Yeah, I get to some interesting stuff. Okay, in here I have a coal. Now, a coal is a very useful survival item. I'm not sure whether it's a quick light or not, but basic fire starting. I've got some more pieces of coal in there, and then I did have a little bit of a fire starting log. Let's see if I can get that out. Yes, this stuff right here is a bit of a fire starting material, kind of rubbed against the coal, so it has a little bit of a black texture, well, not texture, look to it. But well, I use this to start fires in the backyard in a fire pit, and also inside in the fireplace. Basically, it gets it going long enough for the wood to catch on, and then I have some candles in there, basic birthday candles. I'm gonna put this stuff away. Putting it away is also easier always than taking it out, or vice versa. So I'll just drop that in there. And the matchbook on top. It's a pretty good container for this thing. These honey roasted peanuts. I didn't even intend for this to be the container for a fire starting kit, but I just had it laying around and I figured, it's a pretty useful item for this type of thing, or anything really. Now in here we have a 1 quart canteen, run-of-the-mill, not run-of-the-mill, milk spec, rather, and just basic. It's full right now, so I'm gonna refill this. Might be some. Well, I'm actually going to empty it and refill it. If you have a 1 quart canteen or anything, and you store water in it for survival kits, if you don't use it very often, then when you do need it, it's not going to be, well, it's going to be good water, but it's not going to be the best tasting. That doesn't really matter. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't use it very often, you don't go out to the woods a lot, then refill always, once every 2 weeks if you can. But I'm going to refill this later today. Actually, after this video is over. And then, lastly, we have an MRE chicken fajita. I'm not going to open it because it's sealed. Weatherproof. We have this is a little rain bag, in case it starts to rain. And this could also be used as a pillowcase, rather. For your, if you have a particular style of backpack, but this is pretty much to cover your pack if it's raining. It could also be used as a poncho, a very small one. It's basically a dry bag. Throw anything in here that you don't want to get wet, and it'll stay dry, pretty much. And then, the last thing I have in there, the second thing I have in there, yeah, this is the last thing I do believe, is a field stripped MRE. I got some duct tape on there, and it's pretty much spaghetti and meat sauce, but the meat sauce kind of rubbed off, as you can tell. Now, what I did was I put the heater in a separate bag, and I just left everything important in here, like the main stuff, and everything else is in the MRE snacks bag, along with various other items, and it's got a little tab here. I don't know if you can see it in this technique in my video. It's got a little pull tab here, so that's pretty nice. Anyway, so that was the main kit. I'm going to go over the load-bearing vest, or I'm going to go over how to repack this, how I do it, and then I'm going to go over the load-bearing vest and the other box I have. So see you guys in a separate video.